It's another Friday. Hi everyone. Hi Oscar.
Hello.
I've had this like quick exchange with my pal from back home. He's like, dude, the time is flying fast, and I kind of I kind of feel the same, but kind of not, because like when he brought that up, right? I was like, wait, no, really, I don't think so, because for me the time is just going and dragging slowly, right? But then I thought about it a bit more and then realized, oh crap, like it's been 2 weeks and I haven't done much on my like final year project, which I said I was gonna do 2 weeks ago. And in those 2 weeks ago, I said, okay, I'm gonna give myself 4 weeks to work on it and then do the other things, right? And it's just like, what? And yeah, I don't know. The
Right.
time perception is weird. But
Same.
anyway, it's like today's topic. I thought, well, your suggestions about something that, well, I would also imagine flew pretty fast for all the people involved, is about generations, right?
Mm.
About to be more precise, it's like the people's generations, like the generations that people belong in. It's like baby boomers, and then Generation X, and then Gen Y, or AKA millennials, and then Gen Z, iGen, centennials, etc. All the guys like that we're supposedly falling under.
Right.
It's like I've heard many sources. Some of them claim that Gen Z starts in like 2005, even
Mm.
though I doubt it. I Most other sources talk about 1996,
Yeah.
1995, something like that, right? For our generation. Um, but I feel like there's another one, like the newer than us generation now.
Alpha.
Alpha, is that what it's called?
I looked it up. I thought it was something else. I thought it was like, yeah, I'm not sure. What was Gen X?
Gen X is the like the 65, 76, so 1965 and etc. Being like
Yeah.
the hippie era, and then Gen Y is like the kind of a technological advancement era, I would imagine, where from
Right. Yeah.
1977
Mhm.
all the like the bigger tech got established, and then
So they
us, which
created all the bullshit.
yeah,
They created the topology for millennials, and then millennials made the Facebooks of the world.
yeah, that's
Um,
fair. And then we
and
now
then
have to use those damn.
and
Um,
then we just devolved into
wait a minute. So, boomers. Wait, no, not boomers. So Generation X produced the people who have created the technology that we are now having to use. Wait, but then Generation X were
Mhm.
produced by baby boomers, so I mean that's obviously the case. Like every generation is just uh, following the other generation. But yeah, I mean I've been hearing stuff about like millennials and them being like different than their previous generations. Like they say, oh, millennials like don't want to work, and like I don't know, like they want to work more in companies that uh, support their beliefs, or they align with their values more, rather than just like I don't know, Generation X
Yeah,
or baby boomers, where you just work because you need to work, right?
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so I mean that's what I've heard from uh, what millennials are, but then we are kind of
Yeah, millennials get a lot of shit now.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it was like Facebook. Is Zuckerberg a millennial?
I would imagine. Let's see, like Zuckerberg age. Let's see what his. He's 36 years old, dude.
So I guess
So he's born in 1984, which actually falls right into the millennial slash Gen Y category, like almost in the
Right in the
middle of it
middle.
all.
There you go. Yes, that was right. I'm saying. Yeah, I've heard it somewhere. The millennials, defense for millennials, like they created Facebook basically, and Twitter, so on. When was Twitter created?
Probably around the same time, wasn't it? Twitter create new account. No,
But
Twitter
yeah,
create 2006, and
all right, okay.
Facebook founded 2004. I mean, yeah, it's
So have you always just accepted the whole generational divide, or have you wondered ever how we've come to divide the generations up?
yeah, that's interesting. I have actually thought of it at first. Like I was like, wait, what is it? What does it mean? Like, why do we divide, generations the way we do? And then kind of realized that different sources divide it differently. Therefore, I just thought, oh, maybe it's just a made up thing, right? Or
But as
right?
anything,
Hmm?
as anything is made up.
Yeah, yeah, but like
Um,
still, it has some roots in reality, and like
yeah,
it is defining something so that we could communicate easier, I would imagine.
right.
Like, yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
interesting.
I thought I might be more like a millennial or whatever, but then you look at the
I think you might be. I don't know.
yeah, then the problem is, right? We don't know too much of like what is the defining the
Characteristics.
defining characteristics. Let's say you look at the millennials and they say millennials were born approximately between 77 and 95, so 1995, which is like I am kind of close to um but again, it depends on what where you're born, right? Let's
Right.
say because the definition on this site I'm looking at says the birth years for millennials in the United States stop at 1995 because those born later cannot process the significance of September 11th.
Right.
Therefore, the event that happened in September 11th, 2001, has shaped the generation, which
Yeah.
means in some rural part of, let's say, at that time, Soviet Russia, I don't know if someone could even be considered like a part of, let's say, this generation or the
No,
other,
no, no.
because it's
Don't think so.
like it's different in different places of the world, assuming you
Yeah.
get shaped by different things, right?
Yes. I think that's right. I think it's going to be obviously different countries are going to have their own generational divides. Uh, but like as we're going into globalization, and I think with Gen Z is where we're becoming like we can call globally this generation Gen Z
Mm.
because we're all kids of the internet,
Mm.
and yeah, we're all in it together basically. Um,
Yeah,
Obviously, Russia's
maybe
gonna
that's
have
what it
their own like
defines.
social media, and China probably too. I don't know what China uses. I know Russia's got like their own spin-off of Facebook or something.
Probably, I think it's rather more of a my page or MySpace thing. It's the V Contactee, isn't it?
I'm not
Uh,
sure.
Contactee is a social network. Yeah, so it's like yeah, it's almost like Facebook slash Twitter slash all of that. So it's probably like WeChat in China, but then WeChat is like so much more. But yeah, um, let's see what they define it as. Gen Y, so millennials,
And why?
globalization, emergence of internet, and their behavior supposedly is a globalist, questioning, and oriented to self. Um, Gen Z, meanwhile, the us supposedly,
Mm.
Our context is mobility, multiple realities, social networks, and digital natives. So, I mean, the generation is being shaped by the environment and
Yeah.
the context. And our
Right.
behavior is undefined identity,
Mm.
communaholic.
What's that?
I don't know. Communaholic, I would imagine communication, like
Okay.
workaholic, but it's like
Community.
dependent on community or communication or whatever. Uh,
Mm.
Dialoguer, and then realistic. Um, so I mean,
Realistic.
realistic, yeah. So that is like
Realistic is an interesting one
yeah.
because we are
Live
just
life
talking before.
pragmatically, unveiling the truth behind all
Pragmatically.
things. There we go.
Okay.
Hmm. That's
Yeah.
what supposedly. The search for the truth is at the root of all Generation Z behavior.
Right.
Don't define
And
yourself in only one way, be radically inclusive, have fewer confrontations or more dialogue, and live pragmatically. That's what this source, which is McKinsey.com, whatever this source
okay.
is, provides. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And before this, we were just kind of talking about like the absurdity, the
Mm,
absurd humor of Gen Z. And I thought it came to me when I was actually writing. I didn't even realize I'm Gen Z. I didn't pay attention to what generation I am.
mm-hmm.
Um, and I was just writing something down in my journal, and I was like writing about absurdity in my generation, and how it rejects structure. Um, and then I kind of looked up um, absurdist generation, and I found Gen Z.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, wait, is that me? It's me. So I was like, I could read out what I've got written down here. It'd be like
Yeah, share that.
um, an anecdote of what goes on in a Gen Z's mind, I guess. So okay, I guess I'll just read it out. It's got no title yet. It's just an entry in the journal. Um, so with the self-awareness that I have, I might just be destined for a simple life where I do maybe just a little more than I have to survive. It's a little more complicated because my generation rejects all structure, and the following generation even more, as reflected in absurdist art produced by younger and younger folk. To bury my head in the fabric of space and to live up in oblivion in oblivion to live oblivious to the passage of time is certainly one way of moving forward. Though eventually I will have to face the receding responsibilities of an adult, and it will be rather drastic. And I'm done with high highs and crashes now. Instead, I am trying to imbue my life with moderation. I'm progressively finding it easier to generalize this idea of moderation enough to be able to spot sharp edges in my thinking and smooth them out. I guess that's enough. Yeah.
Okay.
An account of one Gen Z.
Hmm.
I mean, there's enough of that on the internet. Yeah, I don't know. I thought we're kind of like coming to an end, so I thought I'd just share this as well.
No, yeah, that's it sounds interesting about the absurdist thing. Like, I don't know. I never maybe thought about absurdism too much. Therefore, I couldn't even define it. So I'm trying to look for a definition just now, and it's like I don't know. Like supposedly the absurd may be the conflict between the human tendency to seek inherent value and meaning, and the human inability to find any purpose. Or so it's like
Yeah.
you're looking for it, but you're not finding any. Therefore, it's just absurd because you kind of imagine that there's no value or something. Well, no meaning.
Well, I guess the idea of practicing absurdism is that you are aware that there is no purpose, yet you keep trying to find purpose, right? Uh, in a way, and you're aware of that of the fact that you're doing this, but you just that's the only thing that I guess you could say is the purpose of a human being to keep trying to search for meaning.
Yeah, I guess interesting definition. Yeah, like, um, I mean, well, let's see what this Merriam-Webster dictionary thing says. Yeah, it's
Merriam-Webster.
a philosophy based on the belief that the universe is irrational and meaningless, and that the search for order brings the individual into conflict with the universe. So this says
Right.
that you shouldn't look for meaning.
And I guess the absurdist art of Gen Z is literally embracing this irrationality and disorder and disarray, and not like how it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Often you'll just go with memes. You don't really know what the hell they're talking about. Not all of them,
Yeah,
of course,
yeah.
but there'll be memes. Deep frying memes. That's
Yeah,
hilarious, right?
I wonder how, like, what would the percentage of people who embrace the
That would be
irrational and
interesting.
meaningless search and stuff, or how many people just genuinely don't know what's happening and genuinely don't even think about their future
Yeah.
and their purpose and
So
etc. Right?
I think we don't want to give Gen Z too much credit also as being some absurdist philosophers and woke, and not woke in the sense that it's been hijacked by social justice folk.
Yeah, I don't know if absurdism is woke though.
Well, woke in which sense now?
Yeah, it depends because like the woke word has these days has like bad connotations.
Exactly, yeah. So like connotations of like I don't know, with connotations of seeing of transcendence maybe.
Mm.
You don't think absurdism has 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 uh, has vibes of transcendence?
I think there's a high. Well, this is a path to enlightenment, obviously, because it's a belief that the person is meaningless and absurdist. Well, not like absurdist, but it's purposeless, right?
Mm.
But climbing over the absurdism and transcending higher, where you understand that it's absurd, but you just get over it and go.
No. Absurdism doesn't have a problem with no.
Wait,
That's
all
not
the
absurd.
sources I'm reading, it literally just says that it's a belief that humans are purposeless in a chaotic universe.
Yes,
Therefore,
and they're okay with it.
but it's not even, well, it's not saying that, well, yes, being okay, but what I mean is like it's not searching for meaning because you don't need any meaning because you accept there's none. At least that's what
No,
the
you accept the fact that you're well, I'm not sure if this is actually absurdism. Let me see. Um, I would say you know that you're going to keep searching for meaning and you're going to catch yourself doing it, even though you logically understand that there is no meaning to look for. But you'll allow yourself to experience the illusion of meaning as a human intelligent agent does.
I mean, yeah, interesting.
And
See,
okay, let's see. In
Albert
philosophy,
Camus was the
uh,
most was Albert Camus the most like famous absurdist guy.
yes.
So says
I have
Albert.
heard the source. Yeah, go
So
on.
that Camus thought that life had no meaning, that nothing exists that could ever be a source of meaning, and hence there is something deeply absurd about the human quest to find meaning. Okay.
Mm. What does it
And
mean to be an absurdist then?
yeah, I wonder.
Um,
Because then the word absurd itself comes into this sentence which is trying to define his philosophy, which is like life has no meaning and nothing can ever be a meaning of, well, nothing can ever be a source of meaning, right? That's what the belief of absurdism is. Therefore,
Mhm.
it is
On a
deeply
practical way,
absurd to find meaning, and therefore you don't even look, I would
to
imagine.
look for meaning.
But that's not absurdism, because you know that there's no meaning
No, yeah, because
if you
accepting that
follow.
there is no meaning, but you accept also your nature as a human to continue to search for meaning, even though you're logically aware that there is no meaning.
I would imagine that would be, again, like that would be climbing out of only absurdism, and that would be more like existentialism itself,
Oh,
trying to
it's
look for meaning.
interesting. Oh well, no, because it's just no. What I'm saying is it's the nature and it's the acceptance of the nature of your own nature as a human being to continue to search for meaning, even though you know it doesn't exist.
Yeah, I could see it in that way, I guess. But it is absurd to be looking for the meaning, therefore.
Yet, well, it's interesting how we define meaning anyway, because in a way, if you can be under the illusion of meaning, then temporarily the meaning must exist until you start to question it.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't read much on absurdism. I'm just like reading now and like seeing what it is. Yeah, I guess it would be a valid point to say that the memes and other stuff that's being born out of our current generation might be absurdism in a way. I would imagine there might be even better words to describe it. I would not know
Yeah,
what, but
I guess. Yeah, where we're saying we're talking
bizarre,
about Generation
ridiculous,
Z being
all those things kind of.
when we're talking about Gen Z being absurdist, I think it is their embrace of the absurd. So they don't try to find meaning, I guess, then you can say, and they're just wholly embracing the chaos of the modern world and all the problems that we have going on, and how everything is falling apart in front of our eyes, and just embracing the disarray. Why am I talking about myself in third person?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I just ever like thought about absurdism much. That's it. I'm, more of just leaning towards like Tao slash like just Zen views of
uh, Millennial shit, right?
it is what it is. I don't know. It's hard to say.
uh, I'm gonna tease you about that.
You can. I would probably put myself in literally in like the middle of it. Just say I'm both because why not, right?
Sure.
You have
Okay,
transcended across,
that's fine.
just imagine transcending like above all of these generational norms and just being all of it at once, knowing that you can be whoever you want to be, right?
Okay.
Why not?
We are almost alpha generation too. We're just Gen Z, I
Yeah,
think.
I'm not seeing any kind of information about that. I've seen that
Yeah, it says
someone
somewhere
is yeah, is but
Gen Z ends like early 2000.
yeah, but we really don't have any kind of well, Generation Alpha supposedly is early 2010s, but
Right, okay, so what's in between?
Generation Z goes to like 2012,
Why is it early 2000? Okay, oh, no. Yeah,
2010s.
I saw right.
Yeah.
I saw early 2000. I
But
don't
we
know.
can't say anything about them just yet because
Well,
like imagine they're
well, I
10
showed a
years
video
old and
with
you
you
can
earlier.
huh?
No, they're like 15, 16. I mean, I
Oh,
guess
true.
okay. So
Wait. No.
no, 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 no. Because I was thinking Gen Z I read was breaks off at early 2000s, not 2010. Where does Gen Z? But
But if Zoomers start at 2000 or like 1997, then how can you have a generation for
did
like two
you
years?
do you have a source for it?
Well, just Google. Literally
Okay,
Google like
generation people in
generations.
1995 to 2012. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
some of them say to 1995, some say 1997, but you usually have a generation which is a bit more than like 5 years. Therefore, you couldn't have a Zoomer or like, no, not the Zoomer, the Alpha generation at like 2001,
Yeah.
right? Which
So Z says, let's see, have a source here. Z says it's like mid 2000s.
cuts
So
off.
I don't know. Yeah. There is debate on when the boundaries of the generation start and finish, but it's mainly made up of people born between mid 1990s and mid 2000s. So like you could argue like mid 2000s,
Yeah,
I guess,
probably. I just also wonder where the hell it's all coming from, you know? Because, like,
which would make
imagine
15, 16, 17-year-olds right now alpha generation. Anyway, it doesn't really
probably.
matter. I think we can really bunch alpha and Z together. I don't know what separates them, but I think the tendency is just towards more absurdist. But that's probably because I
I
focus
would
on
say
absurdism more.
we can't neither put them together nor split them apart because they probably are still a bit too young for the research to be valid. Because you know they do that thing about work culture. They see how they integrate into society. They see how they raise children, etc. Right? So like taking like a 17-year-old and trying to do research on him, uh,
Yeah, fair enough.
you know, plus 17-year-old, you could probably consider he's a Zoomer. Um,
I would say it's best do it on their humor. What is their humor? That's the most interesting for me, I think.
yeah, I don't know though, because you could consider humor being a thing which develops in a specific environment. Therefore, like if you
What?
were born, I don't know, like watching cartoons, your humor is one thing. If you were born and you
Yeah,
just
it's all of it. But you're more likely to be something because of the generation you're in, because whatever is not on the TV for us because we don't watch TV so much.
mhm.
But whatever is like topping the charts on YouTube or whatever the fuck we're doing. I mean, memes are the current peak of humor, and whatever there's divides between what different meme cultures.
Yeah, it's weird though. Internet meme. Hmm. Yeah. Well, anyway, I don't know, dude. Don't know much
We
about
could probably
humor
wrap up.
anyway. I just know because I've funnily enough, I did have like a quite a lengthy conversation today, just sitting on a bench looking at the river and the houses and mountains, uh, like on the other side of the river, and we were considering the life being like the world being a simulation, and we thought it was a skybox. Like the render distance was pretty low because you saw the fog at the end of the mountains, right? It's like weird. You're like looking at it as a picture, and then it just seems to disappear. And then another thing we noticed, I mean, obviously, because there's an airfield just to the right of us, but the exact same path followed by like 10 planes coming in every like 20 minutes, right? And we're like, wait a minute, this is an environmental loop. A bird just passes us every like 5 minutes. So it's like there's a bird, there's a plane that is on the loop, and then the render distance ends pretty close. So we're like, wait, that seems like a simulation, and it's
Don't know
like
what you're.
that is pretty absurd. But you don't know if it is or if it isn't. Therefore, we're just like, what should be the meaning, you know? Well, because what if we are in the simulation? What if we're not? And it was like, yeah, it just freaking blew my mind, dude. I'm like, yo,
Simulation theory is just hype for the for Elon fanboys. That's all.
probably. I don't know, dude. I just thought it's like,
I
and
don't
it,
believe that Elon actually believes in the simulation theory and the threat of AI. I don't think he believes. I think he's just playing the game. I think he's just trying to create hype.
I don't know, dude. Possibly. But be as it may, you would never know if we are or we aren't. Therefore, um, it was quite it was quite a discussion, and we felt the same thing at the same exact time. We just looked at it. We were sitting. I was like, "Wait, does that look like?" He's like, "Oh, a skybox." I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, damn, dude. Like, many
Well,
people at the same time actually realized that we were just like, "What is life, dude?" And yeah.
all this is long running.
So, okay, Mr. Negative, let's end the podcast just now and catch y'all next week.
Yeah, cheers.